Hey everyone, Richard Seller here. Wanted to give you a quick update. A really interesting article came out today, or a study talking about major wage theft in America. Large corporations stealing money from employees, such as making them work off the clock, not paying overtime, misclassifying them as independent contractors. I had to share this data with you because it's pretty incredible. You'll see my eyes sort of divert to look above. I'm looking at the study, which is pretty detailed. But let me read the intro to you, where the study identified. I'm going to paraphrase it: 4,000 cases in which large corporations paid a penalty since 2000, January of 2000 through current. 4,220 cases, including 1,283 settlements and verdicts, totaling $8.8 billion in wage theft by corporations against employees. This doesn't address the small companies that are engaging in this conduct. This doesn't identify confidential settlements that have been reached. But in addition to the $8.8 billion in court through verdicts and otherwise, there were 2,937 administrative fines issued against large corporations, totaling an extra 440 million, which, based on this study since 2000 through current, totaled $9.2 billion in damages that have been recovered against corporations that have engaged in wage theft against employees. When I go through some of the large corporations and what they've paid, it's just amazing. Topping the list is Walmart, who since 2000 have paid out $1.4 million in penalties. FedEx, and I'm going to lean in here a little bit, 502,000. Bank of America, 381,000. Wells Fargo, 205,000. JP Morgan, 160,000. State Farm Insurance, 140,000. AT&T, 139,000. Going down the list, Tenet Healthcare, Zurich, Allstate, Citigroup, Ecolab, Microsoft, Morgan Stanley, Novartis, Oracle, CVS, Rite Aid, Tyson Foods. It's amazing that these companies are engaging in this type of conduct and they continue to get hammered by lawyers and even the Department of Labor, yet they apparently continue to just engage in these practices. The study talks about these large corporations manipulating hours, having employees work and not compensating for them, just simply not paying employees for their time. So if you think about what's going on at these large corporations who have put all of these safeguards in effect to make sure that wage laws are not occurring, now think for a moment about all the mid to small size companies that are engaging in these same practices. We see it every day at our law firm. We see folks that work for, what I'll call mom and pops, who there's manipulation of their records and their overtime is being stolen for years. Then we go to the mid-sized companies and the regional companies, and the exact same thing is happening there. This is why we do what we do. Folks, these are not one-off situations. These are repeat offenders, and it happens every single day in workforces throughout Florida and across the country. Employers will do whatever they need to do to save a dollar, and they're doing it at the expense of you, the employee. They're stealing money out of your pockets. And oftentimes, you folks or the clients don't even know what's going on because folks don't look closely at their timesheets where they're shaving off a quarter of an hour for every shift. Or folks don't look at their payroll, at their pay stubs, which are showing, for example, being paid at the wrong rate or commissions are being reduced, things like that. So, this is a consumer alert in essence that you, the employees of Florida and the nation, need to be well advised and informed of your rights. Basic premise is if you work more than 40 hours, you got to be paid time and a half. If you're entitled to be paid commissions, make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's when that commission check comes in to make sure that the employer didn't accidentally, I'm using a lot of air quotes today, miss a couple of your commissions. Because if you're not keeping an eye on it, they certainly aren't either. or they are, and they're just doing what they're doing in an illegal fashion. And I always use the analogy of the old Pinto. That was the car years ago that exploded when it got hit from behind. And the analysis, as the story goes, was that Ford made a decision that rather than recall the car to make sure people weren't getting killed, it was cheaper for the company to just pay out lawsuits when people got killed in the accidents. They did the analysis. So rather than do the right thing, they said, if we get caught, if somebody dies, we'll pay it then. And that's what these large companies, small companies, and medium-sized companies are doing with your wages. They're stealing money from you because until somebody calls them on it, that money's going into their coffers. So it's the Pinto mentality. If we get caught, then we'll pay. But we're certainly not going to tell employees that we're taking their wages. Let them find out. And then if we get caught, we'll cough up the money. It's theft, plain and simple. It's your money, not theirs. You've worked hard for it, okay? So this is why the corporations and the fat cats running the corporations continue to get wealthier and wealthier. If you take a look, for example, at the CEO salaries of some of these companies, their profits are 9.9 billion. CEOs making 22 million a year. Profits are 3 billion, 18.2 billion, and these CEOs are all making millions and millions of dollars every year in annual compensation. They're getting paid off of your sweat and your blood. Be diligent in the workforce, folks. If you want a copy of this report, I'm happy to share it with you. Feel free to email me at richard@floridaovertimelawyer.com. It will make your eyes pop. But, like I said at the beginning, this is why I do what I do. We love taking on these corporations who think they can get away with it. And we love fighting with them to make sure we get your money. An old friend once told me, a bully hates one thing, and that's the taste of their own blood. Now, obviously, I mean that in a proverbial sense. We're not actually going out and beating people up. But that being said, bullies don't like when somebody stands up to them, and we love standing up to bullies. Anyway, just a quick update today on the state of wage and hour affairs. This report is mind-blowing to me. More than $9 billion over the last 18 years have been stolen. Think about that. Always here to help you, www.floridaovertimelawyer.com. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us at richard@floridaovertimelawyer.com or intake@floridaovertimelawyer.com. If you have a paid practice going on in your workplace and you don't think it's kosher or legal, reach out to us. Always happy to give you some free advice to make sure that your head's on a swivel and you know what your rights are. Have a great day. Stay safe out there, guys.